Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really practical article and turning it into a guide you can actually use. We're breaking down how to pick the right locksmith in Dulwich. So if you ever find yourself in that moment of panic, you'll know exactly who to call.
So let's just start with that situation. That feeling we all dread. You're standing right outside your own front door. The key won't turn, or even worse, it's just gone. It's super stressful, right? But making a quick, smart decision is, well, key.
The article we're looking at paints a really specific picture, one that's probably familiar to anyone living in the SC22 area. So what this explainer is going to do is help you get through that moment. We're highlighting 3 local locksmiths so you can make a good choice without letting the panic take over.
Okay, so let's get into it. Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start with what we're calling a Dulwich lock dilemma, then introduce your 3 local options. After that, we'll look at what each one offers, from value to special skills, and we'll finish up with a clear guide on how to make that final call.
First things first, let's set the scene a little bit. Calling a locksmith isn't always about being locked out. The reality is, in a busy area like Dulwich, the reasons are pretty varied, from a total crisis to just wanting to beef up your security.
And yeah, the source article points out this exact range of problems. So it could be an emergency, like your key just snapping off in the lock. Or it could be a faulty UPVC door. We're talking about those modern plastic frame doors that can be so tricky. Or maybe you've just moved and you're making the smart call to upgrade your security. Whatever it is, having fast, expert help is absolutely crucial.
All right, so now that we've got a handle on the problems, let's meet the contenders. The article we're working from shines a spotlight on 3 very different local locksmiths, and each one seems to have its own special thing.
These are the 3 names we're going to break down. What's interesting is how the article sets them up. They're not all the same. Each one seems to target a unique need within Dulwich, whether that's your budget or a very specific kind of job. First up, let's look at the option that the article really frames as the leader on price and just being available. So if your main worry is getting a solid fix that isn't going to break the bank, this is probably the one you want to pay close attention to.
Now check out this number. The article makes a big deal about this, that prices for standard jobs start at just £29, and that's positioned as their main selling point, right? Great value, but backed up by real expertise. But it's not just about that starting price. The article also emphasizes that they're available 24/7. They promise same-day service, and you get that peace of mind from a 1-year guarantee. Plus, their engineers are MLA accredited. That's the Master Locksmiths Association, which is a real seal of quality in the industry.
Okay, next up, we're shifting focus to an expert with a really solid local reputation. The source identifies this company as the trusted name for a specific part of the neighborhood, especially the area right around East Dulwich Station.
So yeah, this one is all about location and that deep community trust. According to the article, their whole reputation is built on being that reliable, go-to service for both people in their homes and for the local businesses in that specific spot.
And the source material really digs into their professionalism. Apparently, customers love that they show up on time and that they're really methodical about solving the problem. They're also known for giving fair quotes without any pressure, and they can handle anything from a brand new door to a much older, trickier lock. And hey, they even clean up afterwards.
And our third and final option, this one's framed as the specialist. If you live in Dulwich Village, particularly in one of those classic historic properties, the article suggests this is the name you really need to know.
And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly illustrates their unique value. We're not just talking about fixing a lock here. We're talking about understanding the very specific hardware of older homes and knowing where to find and repair parts that you just can't get off the shelf.
So the article describes them as having this more traditional, hands-on feel. They're praised for being genuinely helpful, sometimes even offering advice over the phone that might save you a call-out fee. And they can handle those specialist jobs that others might not, like cutting tricky car keys.
So this is the crucial part, right? How do you actually pick one? You've got 3 solid but very different options. It really all comes down to your specific situation, what your main priority is, and of course, where you are. So let's put them side by side.
This table really just boils it all down for us. If what you need is a good price and you've got a 24/7 emergency, the article points to Locksmith for London, and they've got that 1-year guarantee. If you're looking for trusted service right around East Dulwich Station, Callow is your go-to. And for those classic properties and older locks in Dulwich Village, Micah is presented as the specialist with that more traditional vibe.
Let's make it even simpler. Is the cost your #1 concern? Well, the article points you straight towards Locksmith for London. But if it's more about a specific part of Dulwich, or you know you have a tricky older lock, then your choice is probably going to shift over to Callow or Mica.
And there you have it. That's our breakdown. Now, with all this info from the article, you're in a much better position to handle that stressful moment. You've got a framework now for thinking through the problem and picking the right pro for your specific Dulwich lock dilemma.